Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. Today's video is going to be about expressing a proximity. When you want to say something is around 10 kilometers or you think they were about 20 people, something like that. That's why I came to this place, so I could show you a couple of examples. Tohle místo je asi 20 minut pěšky od našeho bytu. Budou to takové 2 kilometry. Jo, kolem 2 kilometrů. Hádám, že mi to trvalo zhruba 20 minut se sem dostat. Tomu člověku mohlo být cca 45. At this time I actually don't know what time it is, so I could guess. Bude tak 1 hodina asi. Myslím, že je kolem 1 hodiny. Je okolo 1 hodiny. Bude asi tak 1 hodina. Odhaduju, že je asi 1 hodina. Řekla bych, že bude 1 hodina. Well, there are some things that I just like to explain on the board. Maybe next time I'll bring the board with me to the river. I would like to show you now a couple of phrases that we can use to express our guess. We can use these verbs. I think you know the verb myslet or myslet si, to think. We can add si to emphasize that it's our own opinion. So you can say myslím si, že or myslím, že. It has to be followed by že, which means that. I think that. Myslím, že tam bylo 20 lidí. I think there were 20 people. Hádat. This means to guess. Hádám, že. I guess that. Hádám, že tam bylo 20 lidí. I guess there were 20 people. Or odhadovat. Odhaduju, že, which means to estimate. It's just a little bit more formal than this one. Or you can also use říct to say or tell in the conditional form. Řekla bych, or řekl bych. Řekla bych, že je asi 1 hodina. I would say it's probably 1 o'clock. And you can also use future tense with the verb to be. Budou to 2 kilometry. It will be 2 kilometers. Bude 1 hodina. I think it's 1 o'clock. Remember that these verbs would be followed by že and the clause, and this would be just by itself. Bude to or budou to. Now let's look at a mixture of other words, such as prepositions or pronouns that we can use to express the estimate. Probably the most useful word in the Czech language in this topic, or maybe in general, is the word asi. Asi, which has many meanings, but it all revolves around the same meaning, and that is guessing. Asi can be translated as I guess, or approximately, about, and we use it a lot, especially in these short phrases. Asi jo, I guess so. Asi ne, I guess not. Asi už to chápu, I guess I got it, I understand it, I guess. Jsou to asi 2 kilometry. It's about 2 kilometers, or I guess it's 2 kilometers. Then we can also use these two prepositions that would both take the genitive case. And it is kolem, around, or okolo, which is a synonym, around. Kolem 2 kilometrů, about 2 kilometers. Okolo 2 kilometrů. Remember, kolem and okolo takes always the genitive case. And then we also have our favorite cca. It's an abbreviation from the Latin word circa. And we like to especially write it because it's very brief, although when you look at it, asi also has 3 letters, just like cca. But it's a little bit more formal, or it sounds more educated. I've encountered this in the stories when I was preparing my course, when Czech stories are never better. Every time they gave a description of age, in the parentheses, they always put cca 40 let, cca 5 let. So when you guess an age, or when you guess a number for any guessing, you can add cca, and this is how we read it, cca, or write it. But it is slightly formal. If you want to be more colloquial, then use asi. And we also have an option of using a pronoun nějakých or takových, which means some. This is connected with the verb to be. We use this when it's for 5 and more. So if I say that it's 5 and more kilometers, for instance, I would say bude to takových 5 kilometrů. And these are in genitive plural, because 5 and more needs genitive plural, right? Bude to takových 5 kilometrů. But if I want to say it will be about 2 kilometers, I would say budou to nějaké 2 kilometry. Budou to takové 2 kilometry. This or this, it doesn't matter, they are synonyms. But it is informal. So for plural, for nominative plural, when it's number 2, 3, and 4, we use nějaké or takové. And for the plural genitive, we use nějakých, takových. Now the interesting part is that we like to combine these all together. So it doesn't mean that you just use one of them in the sentence. That would ideally be enough. But we like to mix them up. For example, the verb myslet and asi. Myslím, že to asi nebude pravda. I guess it's probably not true. Řekla bych, že přišlo takových 150 lidí. I would say about 150 people came. I could even say asi takových 150 lidí. We can use 2 or maybe 3 at maximum. Remember, using 1 is good, using 2 is also good, and maybe 3 is too informal, too colloquial. But again, language doesn't have boundaries. Let me tell you one example. Hádám, že natočit video mi trvá asi takových 40 minut až 60 minut. cca. So that was my response. If somebody asks how long does it take you to record a video, and I could say, I guess it probably takes me about 40 to 60 minutes. cca. Approximately. And now we are going to do a little exercise. Since you already heard Czech sentences and we translated them to English, this will be the other way around. We will try to translate these sentences to Czech. And of course, there are many ways to express the estimate. So let's see. The first sentence is, the lunch will be ready in about an hour. So in about, we just have one sign of guessing. So we can say oběd. Oběd bude hotový. Oběd bude hotový asi. Asi would be good, right? Asi is always good. Oběd bude hotový asi za hodinu. That's one option. I forgot to add one more word, zhruba. Zhruba means roughly. And we also use it a lot. I forgot to add it in the list. And here it would sound really good. Zhruba. So this literally means roughly. Oběd bude hotový asi za hodinu, zhruba za hodinu. Or we could add, řekla bych, že oběd bude hotový asi za hodinu. It took me 20 minutes, I guess. So here we also have just one expression. Do you remember from the last video how to say that something takes, or it took me? It's trvat. Trvalo mi to 20 minut. Okay, what do we do with this? Again, we can say trvalo mi to asi 20 minut. That's one option. Or we can also say around 20 minutes. We could change that. That would be kolem or okolo. But then we would have to read this in the genitive case. So we could say trvalo mi to kolem 20 minut. Kolem or okolo 20 minut. Again, you could add. Myslím, že mi to trvalo. Remember, we'd have to switch the order. Myslím, že mi to trvalo asi 20 minut. And the last one, this house could cost about 10 million Czech crowns. Tenhle dům, or tento dům, if you want to be more formal. Here we have actually two signs, could and about. We could also reflect it in Czech, could. That's also another way to express the guess. You could use the conditional mohl, mohlo, mohla. So we would use it right here. Tenhle dům by mohl stát asi 10 milionů. Again, asi. Or we could say zhruba. So by mohl stát zhruba 10 milionů. And we could also say, tenhle dům by mohl stát takových 10 milionů, nějakých 10 milionů, asi takových 10 milionů. You know, when you say asi takových, you put a little bit more thought into that. Like, it sounds like you really thought of that. Asi takových 10 milionů, according to my calculations. But it is still a rough estimate. We cannot use takový or nějaký here because za nějakou hodinu it's just 1 hour, so it doesn't sound good. Za nějakou hodinu is not good. It's always when it's plural. So here it would be good. Trvalo mi to takových 20 minut. Trvalo mi to asi nějakých 20 minut. A to je ode mě všechno. You can share with me how else you could say these sentences. Do you have other suggestions? Uvidíme se příště. Ahoj. And I would like to invite you to check my video course When Czech Stories Are Never Better, in which you can learn a lot of practical Czech while reading 15 amusing stories. This is the last chance to get it on discount. There are over 3 hours of learning content. There are videos and quizzes and also read-along sections. Dobrý den, já vás zdravím, vítejte v kurzu. Hello, welcome to the course. Mně skončí skupinová lekce a jdu se po něm podívat po posilovně. So I go and look for him, po něm, po posilovně, posilovna. And we also use the word fitko, which comes from... So I'll be looking forward to seeing you there.